everyone, my name is Julia and today we will discover what is the difference between Manet and Monet. I will try to explain in a simple way the difference between these two French artists and why they are so famous. You will learn it in the next few minutes and after this short video, you will never mix them up.
It's showing behind me the Claude Monet, the Merle, shown up here behind me, and we start the bidding on this work at $45 million.
First, we should understand a few things about the art scene in Paris in the late 19th century before the Impressionism movement began. During that period of time, there were very popular classical or academic style of painting, mostly on historical, mythological and religious themes. French Impressionism was founded in opposition to academic painting. This new movement focused on subjects and themes from everyday life. Artists leave their studios and start to work outside on plain air. But we will talk more in depth about the Impressionism movement in my next videos. Paris was the innovative and creative capital of the world at that time. Three famous world exhibitions took place in 1878, 1889 and 1900s. The world-known Eiffel Tower was created for one of them. Many talented artists, writers, engineers wanted to live and work there, but you had to be extremely talented and persistent to achieve success. The Salon was the most prestigious annual art exhibition in Paris, but unfortunately, both Manet and Monet were not welcome there. Let's begin with Manet and Monet's similarities. They were both French, born in Paris and lived for the same period of time, participated in the same exhibitions. I can tell you even more, they were friends and had an influence on each other. Also, they were huge admirers of Japanese art. However, each of them had his own authentic and unique style and theme, which makes it very easy to find out whose painting we see at the museum without even reading a sign or a title. Edouard Manet was born in 1832 in Paris into a rich family. He was a painter of everyday life. He painted people doing their everyday routine, painting them at cafes, parks, etc. Manet didn't want to paint traditional themes such as religion and mythology, which were very popular at that time. He was interested in both Spanish culture and classical Spanish art. He visited Spain in 1865 and was impressed by the works of Diego Velázquez and Francisco Goya. We can see the strong influence in some of his paintings. Manet wanted to show people as they really are, as he saw them, and didn't want to idealize his models as many other artists did. He said that there is no symmetry in nature, even one eye is a little bit different from the other. This probably made his paintings so alive and unique. The Luncheon on the Grass. This is one of his famous and scandalous paintings. It was created in 1863 and originally titled The Bath. There were many naked women painted before, models and lovers of artists. But why were these paintings rejected from the Salon and made such a scandal? Because all these women before were presented and shown as goddesses or other creatures from mythological and religious stories. Here we can see two men fully dressed, with whom sits a nude woman. Her right hand on her chin with her attention, and she looks right toward the viewer, like she knows something about you. She's not happy or sad, but her eyes are saying that she has some experience and knowledge in life. This young woman is so real and so earthly that all critics and jurors considered it inappropriate right away. From this point of view, this painting was so revolutionary and innovative. The second famous and not less scandalous painting by Manet, called Olympia, also created in 1863. It depicts a naked woman posing as Venera of Urbina by Titian. Again, compared to Venera by Titian, who is gracefully lying in a beautiful palazzo, the woman depicted by Manet has nothing exalted or divine. If you pay attention to small details such as a dog on a painting by Titian and a cat on a painting by Manet, looks like he did it on purpose, to show a direct opposite not only to Venera by Titian, but to the entire tradition of classical painting and the meaning that it used to have in the past 500 years. Manet simplifies his Olympia painting a lot compared to Venere by Titian. In the original painting by Titian, we see one picture inside the other. Titian plays with his viewers using perspective. Firstly, we pay attention to the beautiful woman depicted as Venus, her relaxed face and body holding our eyes on small details such as her beautiful blonde hair and the small bouquet of flowers that she holds so naturally. When we stop our focus on her toes, right up we can see a peacefully sleeping dog, and it becomes a visual bridge to the second part of the painting with a totally different story. The young lady is looking for a dress and her servant helps her, and after this we see a beautiful Italian sunset. If we take a look at Olympia, we can see a very limited space, only the woman laying on the bed, her servant, the cat that has this tense pose on his body, and a curtain behind her from both sides. All these details make this painting a little bit depressing and very realistic. Also, the perspective of this painting makes our view lock on Olympia. Even her servant who brought flowers looks at her. Manet forces us to use this trick to keep all our attention and eyes on Olympia only. You can feel a little bit uncomfortable after a while. Claude Monet was also born in Paris in 1840. At the age of 5, he moved to Le Havre, Normandy, where he spent his childhood. He met a local artist, Eugène Boudin, who encouraged him to paint en plein air. Monet observed and studied nature a lot and noticed all the details, how everything was changing during a day, a year, or even a couple of hours. Nature and landscapes were always his main topics. All the light reflections or changes in nature attracted Monet much more than people. However, when he painted people, they always had this soft and bright light that illuminated his models' faces and made them shine from inside. The painting Impression Sunrise, created in 1872, was and still is a very important not only for Claude Monet, but for all the Impressionism movement. The first time this artwork was shown in April 1874 in Paris, at an exhibition by a group of artists rejected by the famous Salon. In this exhibition also participated Degas, Renoir, Sisley, Pissarro, and many other talented artists. The painting depicts Le Havre as the sun rises, and the bright orange color is reflected on the surface of the water. This painting was so different from all other landscapes at that time, less realistic, and the boat silhouettes and cranes in the background are slightly visible. It takes some time for the viewer to see all the details. Monet titled the painting Impression Sunrise for the catalogue, but art critic Louis Leroy used the term Impressionism in his review to show his disrespect and tried to offend Monet in this way, because he and many other critics and viewers thought that this painting was unfinished and had no value as an artwork. But Impressionists accepted this title, so this painting gives the Impressionist movement its name. Claude Monet was influenced a lot by Japanese art and culture. He admired the work of Hokusai and owned an impressive collection of his prints. We can see this influence in some of his works, even in the design of his famous Giverny garden. The art dealer of Claude Monet, Paul Durand-Ruel, had increasing success in selling his paintings, though the artist became more financially stable. In 1890, Monet bought the house with all the surrounding buildings and the land for his famous garden Giverny, not far from Paris. From the late 1890s through the end of his life in 1826, Monet worked on the well-known series Water Lilies. A series includes around 300 paintings all. He painted the water pond and bridge at different times of day and from different angles. The series of Rouen cathedral paintings were made between 1892 and 1893 in Rouen, Normandy. Monet rented a studio space in Rouen across the street from the cathedral. He painted the Rouen cathedral at different times of the day and the year. For Monet, the effects of light on a subject became as important as the subject itself. So, what conclusion we can make? Claude Monet loved nature and light, and he wanted to represent them in his art. He painted mainly landscapes, showing the effect of light and change on them depending on the time of day or year. Both artists used different techniques in paintings. Monet was using large and impulsive brush strokes to show the effects of light and atmosphere. Sometimes the subjects of his paintings were slightly visible. Edouard Manet portrayed people in their everyday activities, depicting realistic and not idealized figures. He chose to paint indoors in his studio. Manet had a different style. His paintings are smoother, better depicted details, and are way more realistic. But both of them are phenomenal artists who had a huge impact on art in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Now we can enjoy their beautiful masterpieces at the biggest and most prominent museums in the world. What is so special about these artists that make them so famous? They both were very talented artists, but most importantly, they were pioneers of a new vision and a new style at a time when no one was doing that. And we all know that historical appreciation always goes to pioneers and those who were first. Why are they worth hundreds of millions? Speaking money-wise, it is very difficult to calculate or estimate a true value of art. Why? Because it's impossible. Art is something about feelings, emotions, and something heavenly, and for each person it will be a different painting and artist. But if Monet's painting touched someone's soul that much to make this person spend $100 million, this is a true power of art.
I sell to you now for 97 million. 97, thank you.